Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're unpacking a really interesting source. It's a transcript from like a business English learning conversation.
Right.
And it gives us this, fly on the wall view of a pretty high pressure sales meeting.
Yeah, it's a great little snapshot, actually. You get a real sense of the dynamics, the kind of language people use when they're, well, under the gun.
Exactly. So our mission here is to take this material, sort of break down the scenario, the language, the underlying stuff going on.
And pull out the key insights for you. Kind of give you that shortcut to understanding what's really happening in these situations.
Okay, let's dive in then.
So the transcript, it just drops you right in.
Yeah, straight into this intense sales meeting. You feel the pressure immediately. The manager is like laser focused on needing concrete solutions.
Yeah, and drive sales.
Yeah,
That's the big one.
right, drive sales.
Right.
And his language, it's urgent. He's saying things like, we've got to do something about our sales and we need to do it now.
Yeah, no messing around. It's like, okay, people, ideas now.
Totally. So the team starts trying to come up with things. Roger goes first. His suggestion, pretty simple, lower prices.
Okay. And his reasoning, the source says, is that the company is the most expensive in the market.
Makes sense logically. We're pricey. Let's, match the competitors.
Straightforward thinking. But the manager's reaction, wow.
Oh, it's immediate. And really harsh. He calls it not very creative. Says it'll never fly with Swan, who we find out later is the CEO.
Right.
And just hammers it.
Yeah.
Bad idea. Really bad idea. Even asks, what kind of thinking is that? Ouch.
Yeah, that's a pretty brutal shutdown. I mean, that kind of thing can really make people clam up,
Do you
right?
think? But Natalie jumps in next. Her idea is a promotion.
Okay, a bit different.
Yeah.
And she gets specific mentions, a 2-for-1 offer or something like that.
Like a classic marketing tactic.
Yeah, tangible. But the manager initially,
Still not happy.
not at all. Just as dismissive. He's like, what? That's the same thing. Bad idea. Really bad idea, damn it, people. Come on, think. You can almost hear the frustration like boiling over. He seems to think both ideas are just lazy, or maybe not the concrete he wanted.
Maybe. He's clearly not getting what he feels he needs from the team. But then, okay, this is where the whole dynamic just flips.
Yeah, the big arrival.
The atmosphere changes completely. The manager warns the CEO will be here any minute.
And then suddenly, Mr. Swan, the CEO, is there, and the manager's tone, it's like night and day. Hello, Mr. Swan. Oh, Mr. Swan. Hello, Mr. Swan.
Total shift. And what does he tell the CEO when asked about ideas? He says, incredibly, they were kind of considering a 2-for-1 offer.
Natalie's idea, the one he just called a really bad idea.
Exactly, the very same one.
Yeah.
It's something.
He didn't think much of it a minute ago, but suddenly it's good enough to present to the big boss.
Right. But wait, it gets even better. Because the CEO, Mr. Swan, he actually likes it.
Yeah, he says, H, I kind of like the sound of that.
And adds, it sounds like something we should consider.
And the manager, phew, instant U-turn, a complete 180.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly, that same idea is brilliant. That's just what I was thinking, he claims.
Of course he was.
Glad we thought of that. And now, somehow, it's very creative.
Wow. The whiplash on that is incredible. It just shows, doesn't it, how much the perceived opinion of the person at the top matters?
Absolutely. An idea goes from trash to treasure based purely on who happens to like it in that moment.
Yeah, its value wasn't inherent, it seems. It was all about the CEO's reaction.
Okay, so let's pause and unpack some of that specific business language we heard. Stuff highlighted in the source. The manager's main goal was to drive sales.
Right, drive sales. Super common phrase. It just means, increase sales, sell more, make the numbers go up. You need actions that drive them.
Got it. And Natalie's idea was a promotion.
Yeah, and promotion here isn't about getting a better job title. It's a marketing thing.
Like a sales tactic.
Exactly. A strategy to boost sales quickly. The source mentions that classic buy one, get one free shampoo example, or maybe a temporary price cut. Something to get people buying now.
Okay. And the manager kept demanding concrete solutions.
Yeah, concrete solutions means real, specific, actionable ideas.
Not just wishy-washy stuff.
Oh, things you can actually do.
Yeah.
Definite plans. He was pushing for that specificity.
Then Roger wanted to match the competitors.
Match the competitors means being, on par with the other guys in your field.
Could be price, could be quality.
Right. Or service. In Roger's case, he wanted to match their price because he said they were the most expensive.
In the market.
Exactly. In the market. Just means in that particular industry or sector. Like, Of all the companies selling similar widgets, they had the highest price tag.
Makes sense. And that phrase the manager used to shoot down Roger's idea, it'll never fly with Swan.
Oh yeah, it'll never fly. Great idiom. It just means it won't work, it won't get approved.
Especially by the boss Swan.
Right. The idea is doomed from the start. Like the source's example trying to sell bikinis in Alaska. That idea will never fly. Or a marketing plan that costs way too much.
Yeah, it's a very clear way of saying no way. Now, beyond just these specific phrases, the source also mentioned ways to sound a bit more natural or maybe professional in English.
Yeah, subtle things. Like instead of just saying the CEO will be here soon, the manager says he'll be here any minute.
Feels more immediate, right?
A little more dynamic, yeah.
Yeah.
More like real-time conversation.
And when the manager does present Natalie's idea to the CEO, he doesn't say they were thinking about it.
No, he uses to consider. They were kind of considering a 2-for-1 offer.
And the source suggests consider sounds a bit smarter, more professional.
Yeah, maybe a bit more formal, a bit more thoughtful in that business context. You know, sounds like something we should consider, carries a little more weight than just think about.
Interesting. And then that final flip-flop. The manager didn't just upgrade the idea to great day.
No, he went all the way to brilliant. That's a brilliant idea.
Which the source notes might be a bit more British English, but it adds, what was it, more power?
Yeah, it just elevates it more than great. Makes it sound really exceptional, even if he hated it 2 minutes before.
It's wild how word choice paints the picture.
Okay, so moving beyond the words themselves, this whole scene gives us, well, a pretty stark view of management style, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. The analysis in the source material doesn't pull any punches, calls the manager a terrible person to work for.
And, I mean, based on this short exchange,
Yeah.
you kind of see it.
Yeah. He's not motivating anyone. He cuts people off.
Makes them scared to talk, probably.
Right. With reactions like, bad idea, really bad idea. Who's going to stick their neck out next time?
And then the absolute worst part, taking credit for Natalie's idea the second the CEO signals approval. That's classic bad management, unfortunately. Compare that to what the source describes as a good manager.
Yeah, someone who encourages people, supports them, actually helps them grow.
Remember that anecdote about the first general manager? The one who knew everyone's name?
Yeah. Made people feel valued, like part of a team.
Exactly. And that makes people want to contribute, want to work harder. It's a totally different dynamic.
And you can see how the language ties in, right? The bad manager's words, not very creative, bad idea, they just crush morale.
While encouraging language, even when critiquing, would foster a space where ideas, even maybe imperfect ones, can actually be discussed and improved.
It really shows that how you communicate as a manager is maybe just as important as what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely critical.
So wrapping this up, what can you, the listener, take away from this deep dive? Well, hopefully understanding this scenario helps you navigate similar situations.
Yeah, you can recognize the pressure, the different ways ideas get treated, the impact of hierarchy, and you've got some of that practical business language now.
Right, things like drive sales, concrete solutions, match the competitors, and knowing what it'll never fly means.
Plus those little tips on sounding perhaps a bit more natural or professional with phrases like be here any minute or using to consider instead of just think about.
It's about building that fluency, not just in the vocabulary, but in the whole context of how business conversations work.
Exactly. Understanding the game, so to speak.
So thinking about this whole meeting, how Natalie's idea went from bad to brilliant. Here's a final thought for you to chew on. What does it really take for an idea to succeed in an organization like that? Is it the inherent quality of the idea itself, or is it more about who presents it? And crucially, getting the nod from the ultimate decision maker, like the CEO. Something to consider.